Welcome to the Northeast Florida Development Diaries, the place where we share the stories shaping the future of our region. This series is brought to you by the Northeast Florida Economic Development Corporation, a partnership committed to strengthening our communities, attracting investment, and expanding opportunity across Northeast Florida. I'm Amber Shepard, the Strategic Alliances Business Partner for Northeast Florida Economic Development Corporation, and your host. Each episode, we sit down with investor members, state leaders, and innovators who are driving growth, not just in boardrooms, but in neighborhoods, schools, and local businesses across our counties. These conversations shine a light on the people and programs moving our region forward and the impact their work has on our communities. This is where insight meets action. This is the Development Diaries. Today, we're joined by Dawn Strickland, the immediate past chair of the Northeast Florida Economic Development Corporation and a dedicated member of NEFEDC's board. Dawn has called Bradford County home since 1994 and brings a powerful blend of legal, workforce, and entrepreneurial experience to our organization. With an associate's in court reporting, a bachelor's in workforce development and education, studies at the University of Florida Law School, and nearly 20 years of legal experience, she offers invaluable insight into the regulatory and legal frameworks that support sustainable economic growth. An entrepreneur at heart, Dawn owns several local businesses, including Home Sweet Bone, Strickland Scoops, and Strick's Properties. And she remains deeply committed to community development through her service on multiple local boards. She is also a proud mother of two children who are business owners right here in Bradford County. Dawn, it's an honor to have you with us.
Hi,
I'd
Amber.
love for you to start by sharing what first drew you to economic development and your passion for building strong, thriving communities.
Absolutely. So I think I need to tell you a little bit of my story and how I got to Bradford County and my love for Bradford County. So I was in Miami, and my family has deep-seated roots in Bradford County. As a matter of fact, my mother's family, they were one of the founders of Bradford County. So I then since came up here to visit my parents and met my husband of 32 years. He, on a blind date, believe it or not, a current county commissioner set us up. And within 2 weeks, I was moving up here, fell in love with Bradford County, and have been here ever since, never regretted the move. There's something to be said about a small town and the close-knit rural character of this region. So when I fell in love with it, I fell in love with it. And why I wanted to start my story like that is because before I moved here, I wasn't really interested in economic development. That was never on my radar. Of course, I was younger, but when you're living in such a large metropolis like Miami, that is really the last thing on your mind coming. And I was a court reporter. I was, interested in starting, a small business. But again, seeing growth in my community, there was already so much growth around me that it really didn't interest me. But it wasn't until I moved to Bradford County and I realized all of this beautiful little intricacies that were around me with the community, with the businesses, with the families. It was just so authentic and personal. So in order to see something like that thrive, we have to have economic development. We can't just sit still. We have to grow. So, of course, I have several businesses in the area, and I wanted those businesses to be a part of the community that would still keep us close knit, that would still um, provide services, you know, of course, be lucrative. Who doesn't start a business that doesn't want to be lucrative? But a main concern of mine was to keep our community whole. And with that being said, that's one of the reasons why I sit on a lot of local organizations because I want economic development not only just to bring in the larger companies and to see, and I understand they bring in jobs, but also for those small businesses to thrive on the companies that come in. So yeah, So that's kind of what got me interested in economic development here locally.
So, what would you say is what you love the most about doing business in this region?
Oh, 100%. I think I used the words authentic and personal. And that's what it is. You get to know members of this community not only through the business dealings that you have, through familial ties. I did marry one of the largest names in Bradford County. So with that, he knew everyone. So I had to really immerse myself into this community, get up to speed and to get to know everyone. But that is what I love about Bradford County is that we're all here for each other. You have these small events, you have these traditions that are in this small town that makes it more personal, makes it more meaningful, the connection. And that is why having such a small business and having small businesses and wanting to see it thrive, wanting to see them grow, wanting these young children that are growing up. I've been a part of Career Source for years. I think at one time I counted, I had 21 youth at one point in time that had gone through my businesses within like 5 years to see them develop, and to see them wanting to start, a small business in the area. Speaking of, if you hear dogs in the background, I'm in my daughter's grooming salon. So, so, um, so seeing that growth, and seeing these kids just really um want to thrive, want to start their own business, want to do the same thing I did. So I don't know if that answered the question or not, but I tried to the best I can. So
I love your entrepreneurial spirit. I think that
thank you.
that really opens up doors of opportunity. And not everybody is going to go the college route. Not everybody is going to go into a trade. And some people have that spirit that they just want to start something new and do what they love. So, when you think about the growth that's happening around North Florida, what excites you most?
Oh, so much. So where do I begin? Especially in our community, just with the transportation, when we had the bypass put in on 301. Now, taking into consideration, I have a business on 301. I can hear the cars on 301 as we speak now. My son is starting a business on 301. My daughter has a business on 301. So when the bypass was coming in, that was a real concern that everyone in the community had. But I didn't have that concern because I felt like that it was going to give that bypass was going to route traffic away from Stark of people that were traveling, okay, trucks, everything that are really didn't need to be in front of my business, my local business. And so things that the transportation alone that I have seen the growth in the past 3 years, the overpass going through downtown Stark to allow the overpass for the railroad tracks to allow the ease of the ambulances was a main thing, instead of getting stuck on a railroad crossing. Seeing that, there's so many things going on that just excite me. What the city is doing, the changes that the city is implementing with we just had our first free concert in an absolutely gorgeous outside area that for New Year's Eve. The community events that I'm a part of, the Great Pumpkin Escape. We had over 4,000 children come through here and that were being able to get free games, free candy, free shows, free demonstrations. I know myself, I served almost 1,000 snow cones free of charge to the children of Bradford County this past Halloween. We have that. We have Christmas on Call Street that we're a part of with the Downtown Merchants as an organization that I'm a part of that, the Christmas parade, the car shows, the Miss Winterfest. There are so many things. The Strawberry Festival that's coming up in March, the fair that's coming up at the end of next month, the new recreation center that's happening right there a half a mile from where I live. There are so many things about this community that are just booming that just they give me chills. We're just expanding so much in such a good way for the community. Yeah.
Yeah, I think What I love about Stark is that while it is trying to grow, it is holding on to those historic roots in that walkable district. And, you can drive down the streets and some people might complain, but you still get to see those brick paved roads that, for most communities are no longer visible. They've often torn up those roads and gotten rid of those bricks, and they've changed the front of the buildings to look more modern and contemporary. And while that can be nice, I think some people really do like the feel of that authentic historic district and being able to go and be involved. Like, I love going down Call Street and seeing the fronts of the stores painted. I think that's
That's
just
right.
really cool.
Yes. Yeah, that it's a good point. We have a um lovely, lovely, lovely woman from the library that comes and does our windows. And sometimes when you know what she says? Whatever you feel is right. Now, how many people in as far as a monetary compensation, how many people in what city would they paint and beautiful little murals
Mhm.
and anything I want? I can customize it. I can put a dog. I can put an ice cream cone. How many people in today's time will say, "Oh, just give me what you think I deserve"? I mean, that's the closeness of the community, and just like you said, when you drive somewhere or you drive through downtown or those cobblestone streets, you feel it. You feel that small town vibe. And I opened my ice cream shop in the middle of COVID. I There was one thing I felt like as a community, we didn't have a lot of outdoor space downtown that we could get together as a community safely at this time. So, we're talking, I had the idea in late 2020, early 2021. And that's one of the things I wanted was an outdoor gathering space for community that everyone could come to, and they felt they were at home and they felt safe and they felt that they were part of something bigger than just themselves. And that's what this community is about. And I love to see these young kids growing up and they're starting their own business. I helped my children were along the same path that you're telling me now. I went to law school, so I went the whole gamut. I graduated high school at 15. I graduated my first college at 17, and I just went. I love school. But my children being very home based, it just wasn't for them. They didn't want to go and they didn't want to get a degree and they really wanted to stay in the family business. Now we made my son work for a corporation because we said, "Hey, listen, you need to work for someone, when you're 16 to get that feel of what it's like, not just under mom and dad." So he actually worked for Comores and he did his stint there and realized that wow, working for someone's difficult. So he started his own business and we helped my daughter also start her own business. And they're local here in the community. And that's really where my heart is seeing these small businesses thrive. Don't get me wrong, I love the large corporation aspect coming in because we do need that influx so that we absolutely in every community needs it. But my heart is really with the small businesses.
I think we're going to designate you as the small business advocate for the
Yeah, right.
community.
Right.
So,
I'm
how did
constantly,
you?
go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go
I'm
ahead.
constantly, it's funny because I'll be 53 next month. And I'm constantly saying, "Oh, we need this. Stark needs this." And I have to tone myself down because I'm like, "Dawn, there's only so many hours in a day. But I think of things all the time that would be, just great for the community. But I'm like, wait a second, slow your roll." So yeah, yeah.
Well, thinking back, I know right now you're currently serving on the EDC board as
Mhm,
the immediate past chair, and
mhm,
then last year you were the chair and you came to the
mhm.
board prior to that. So, how did you first get connected with the EDC?
Well, I was kind of voluntold, so that's a term we use around here, which I was okay with. I didn't know much about the organization, and I knew that there were some changes being made. And a good friend of mine, Patricia Evans, said, "Dawn, I think you'd be a perfect fit. Let's see." And I'll be honest, I didn't know what, and I still sometimes I sit around going, "Oh my gosh, all these people know so much more than I do," because we have great people on the board, such knowledge. I mean, I'm in awe at the knowledge sometimes that these other board members are presenting. And so I told her, I said, I'll be more than happy to help. I'll be more than happy to give my, input in any way that I can. But absolutely would love to sit. And that's I was kind of voluntold, but she does, we're great friends. We help each other out in any way we can. She sits on several different that we've had a career source board previously we sat on. So we're intertwined in a lot of different ways. So yeah.
Well, I know that being on our board and being a member requires an investment from your perspective. What would you say was something that caused you to decide to make that investment? You could have declined, but you chose to
Uh,
come on board.
because I knew the people involved. Again, at the time that I started sitting, I knew every board member intricately. So, meaning we had history in some form or another, and knowing those members and what their role is in the community and what their motives were, I knew this had to be something beneficial. I didn't know what or why exactly, but reading mission statements, reading things that could possibly, I could see happening in the future with everyone's help, only promoted Bradford County in a good way. And another thing that really grabbed me, because I've started several businesses in Bradford County within the city and outside the city. And a couple of years ago, now it's much more different. They're really getting on the same page, the city and the county. It was sometimes very difficult to gain correct knowledge because they were always giving me the city and the county. And I felt when someone told me this is the place you go to get the knowledge, there'll be a one-stop shop. That's the best way to say it. And you can go and they'll tell you and they'll direct you. And knowing the trouble I had in the past, although they've corrected it since then and working very well together, that interested me. I said, okay, I need to find out more. I want to be a part of this.
Well, I am certainly glad that you came on
Mhm.
board. It has been a tremendous help to have your insight, especially from that local entrepreneur perspective.
Mm.
And then also, your experience abroad. I think that that kind
Mhm.
of gives you some insight because you see where we are, and maybe we don't aspire to grow to the size of Miami, but we definitely want to grow. And we
Mhm.
want to do it in a responsible way. So it's
Yeah.
helpful to have your insight and your encouragement and your enthusiasm. So, from your perspective, how would you say that the EDC has helped create opportunities or visibility for businesses like yours?
Well, networking. That's really, I mean, even though I'm a small business, just being a part of the annual meeting, I met individuals at that annual meeting that I didn't know were around from the city of Keystone Heights, which is 12 minutes away. So it's all about just meeting people and being a part of NEFEDC has really shown, opened up opportunities with networking and meeting people that are right around the corner. They say, "Oh, I didn't know you did this. I didn't know you did this. Oh, Dawn Strickland. Oh, yes, so and so. I didn't." So that's really been the main, I don't, the most positive aspect for me in my businesses. Yeah, it's just getting to meet people that and Amber, I mean, you're such a treasure with our, community and with this organization because you meet different people and bring them in that I would never be exposed to. So we all gain something a little bit by being a member because the annual meeting is just priceless. for networking and getting to know people and getting your face out there. And if we don't, as small business owners, much less the larger corporations that are coming in, why it's so important for them. But as a small business owner, if we don't get our face out there and we don't see people and they don't know we'll never have a business.
To your point, I think one of my favorite parts of the annual meeting, and I've done it twice now, we've only
Mhm.
had two annual meetings, but each
Mhm.
time, my favorite part is when I get to stand up and I like to ask the question, raise your hand if you're from Bradford County.
Oh, that's
And
really good.
like so many people raise their hands. And then I ask, raise your hand if you are from outside of Bradford County.
Mhm.
And then I say, keep your hand raised if you're from outside of the state of Florida. And
Mhm.
then keep your hand raised if you're from outside of the US. And to be able to even see that we have
That's right.
people that are attending
Mhm.
globally
Mhm.
to the Bradford County, the Northeast Florida Economic Development Corporation's annual meeting is quite exciting. And I do hope to be able to continue to grow that number, not just for Bradford County and Clay County and the surrounding community, but grow that global number. I think the more that we can create an awareness of the opportunities that we have here in the community, the more likely that we are to really attract some serious business. Um,
Mhm.
One of the things that got me into economic development was recognizing the economic volatility in the world.
Mhm.
And when I looked at the state of Florida, I saw like we are number four in national GDP. If we were a country, we would be like 14th in the world. I mean, that says
Mhm.
something. And we have the capability, Florida as a state has the capability to have its own stabilized economy. And where we are, we're positioned so nicely. We have the
Beautifully.
truck lines, we have the rails, we're in a foreign trade zone, we
Mhm.
have an opportunity zone in the community, we have our own general aviation airport and joint training facilities for military. So, like, we really are. Have the potential to be a central hub for the state of Florida. And a friend of mine jokingly said that we are the gateway to the South, and I don't
Yeah.
disagree. And we are in the middle of everything. So, there's a lot of opportunity here. So, for other business owners who may be considering joining the NEFEDC's investor membership, what would you tell them about your experience?
Oh, it's been nothing but positive. Um, if you are a business owner, small, medium, large, let's just put it under one big blanket. You have to be able to get yourself, your product, your service out there. And this is what you do. Look at this podcast. Okay, that's a beautiful illustration of it. You have to be able to get out there, get your face seen, know people, serve in the community, make the community better. And all of these things is what NFEDC does. So to be a part of this organization is not merely just having a membership and writing a check and you're a member. Get involved, see what we're doing. We are gateway is a beautiful term because even though we are a gateway and we can have these large corporations look at us, don't forget the unique small town rural character that we have. And that charm for any business, it's beautiful. And that is what NFEDC, that is what they do. They promote that. And with our annual meeting, with being a member, getting to know our board members, being a part of our public, portion of our meeting, that is what any business needs. They'd be silly not to.
Yes, I often look at my role and I'm just here to help facilitate.
Mhm.
And I am a networker and I like to connect business leaders where it makes sense and bring them into opportunities. And so, one of the things that we've really been working on this year is this podcast,
Mhm.
helping to share the message of our investor membership. It's not just about growing the EDC, but it's about helping businesses grow also. We want our community to be where businesses come to thrive. So, And also involving businesses in upcoming meetings where we're going to be attending. So, we have membership with other organizations, and
Mhm.
we get invitations extended to us to come and have a meal or have a networking opportunity. And so we can then, in turn, extend those opportunities to our members as well. And so, there's a lot of opportunity for businesses to come and grow here in our community, but then we also are working hard to help those businesses build relationships across the state of Florida, not just in
That's right.
this little portion. So
That's right.
now I know you have a lot of businesses and a
Mhm.
lot of things going on. So are there any exciting projects or goals for you on the horizon?
Oh, there's always something. Everything, as a small business owner, I touch about 5 businesses a day, and in some capacity or another, whether even if it's writing a check. So, but keeping things at a status quo is work in itself. Okay. So the summer's gearing up. I have an ice cream place, and this is the time right now to be getting all of our summer events going, see all of our little tweaking. I don't know if anybody, my husband, I love making the community brighter with flowers. And if anyone knows any of my locations, they know I love flowers, and so does my husband. So he had put a greenhouse over the winter time in one of in the back of Strickland Scoop. So he's growing all these beautiful flowers that we're going to make it, so we're working on that during the winter time. So summer is going to be it's going to be beautiful around here. We're very, very excited. My son has just recently become involved in a new gun shop that's going to be opening right here on 301, Blue Collar Armory. So my daughter's gearing up, with grooming by sister. All of her clients are getting ready, and she's developing new clients, and we're getting ready again. This is our kind of our time to gear up for that summertime. Because well, today, well, I don't even know what the degrees is outside, but it's nasty, okay? Nobody wants to get their dogs groomed on a nasty day. But this is our time to get everything ready, prepped and everything for those beautiful days just in a couple of weeks. And in Florida, you never can tell from one day or another. So there's a lot of good things coming. So lots of good things coming.
When you think about the next 5 years, what do you hope to see for Northeast Florida as a region?
Oh, that's a very good question. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing the growth. I mean, we're having a state of the art, gorgeous 45 unit condos going up in the city of Stark. I'm seeing it. So I don't really know if I have a vision if I close my eyes, because everything is coming to fruition. We are getting the larger corporations looking at us. I would love to see we do lack jobs in Bradford County, some higher end paying jobs in Bradford County. And I think what I'd like to see come in is, and I know that things are on the horizon, some of these larger warehouse that that give hundreds of jobs to Bradford
Mhm.
County residents. I think that's what we need, because we're having a lot of our residents go out of town, very skilled people go out of town because there isn't that right now. So if I see something that we need and what I would like to see come in, that's what I'd like to see happen. We have some beautiful buildings that are sitting vacant because we can't find that right fit. And I know you're on that. So we've got a lot of interest, and look at the airport. Large, expansive land that is just waiting for the right person to come in. And wow, is that centrally located? I mean, come on, to get to Jacksonville is under an hour. To get to Gainesville is under an hour. And the land itself, borderlines, Camp Landing, couldn't ask for a better piece of property. So there are some things that I would like to see get developed, and some larger corporations come in. So I guess to answer your question, I'd never really thought about it, but that's probably where I'd like to see if a change came about in the next 5 years.
Yeah, that would be some beautiful job creation. And hint, hint, wink, wink
Yes.
to anybody from Amazon that might be
Yeah,
listening. We would
exactly.
love to see you build a facility at our airport for
Yes.
your
Uh-huh.
last mile drone delivery or training and
Right.
testing. Like there's some really unique opportunities out there. So
Right.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
We're looking at going to a trade show in April and hope to be
Uh-huh.
able to connect with some of these leaders of some of these specific types of industries that you're talking about. And hopefully we
Great.
can have a real conversation with them and attract them to the community. So,
Yeah, that's right.
so is there anything else that you would like to share with the audience that maybe we haven't covered yet today?
I don't think so. I just hope that if anything, it's shown my love for this county, my love for the people, the everything about it, that small town just connection, and anyone would be blessed to be here. So I did what it, that was my main goal. I really wanted people to see what's my just enthusiasm for this county.
And I think that that is very evident. So, Dawn, thank you so much for joining
Absolutely.
me
Well, thank
today
you,
and
Amber.
for sharing your insight and your journey and the incredible impact that you've made on Northeast Florida. And we appreciate your leadership and your dedication, and that you continue to really shape the future of our region. And I'm grateful for your support. And the foundation that you've helped build here at the NEFEDC. To our listeners, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Northeast Florida Development Diaries. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, like, and share this episode, and stay connected as we continue highlighting the leaders and innovators driving growth across our region. We appreciate you, and we look forward to having you with us on the next episode.
Thanks, Amber.
Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.